Right, well I'm just about to go out and wash both sides of the boat. Before I do, I just wanted to tell you about this. The other night I was sat watching telly quite late on, and we had a bit of a thunderstorm here at the marina, and I came to the kitchen sink to fill the kettle to make myself a cup of tea, and I noticed on the floor between the sofa and the galley there was water. And when I got to the tap to fill the kettle, this area here, there was water absolutely pouring in, to the point where I was getting into panic mode with towels and cloths and all sorts. In fact, this large jug, which I'm just going to try and pull away to show you, that large jug there was filling with water within seconds. I draped a cloth off this ledge into the jug to try and catch as much of the water as I could. And when I go outside to clean the boat, I'm going to show you the cause of the problem, and I hope you'll find that this video just gives you the heads up on a problem that exists on every boat, and often we don't even realise it's there. So I'm in my scruffs because I'm going to be washing the boat, but when I go outside and I get near the side of the boat, I'll show you in more detail. Right, for those of you who aren't aware, I'm just trying to get this camera in my hand the best way I can. On a boat, these are cold wall windows. There is other makes obviously, but they are designed that you can just unclip and the window tilts back. But it also allows you, I'm trying to do it left-handed, to totally remove the pane of glass. Now when you do, what people forget is that deep down in there, I don't even know if I can see it from the inside. I don't think I can, might not be able to see it. Let me have a look. There you go. If you can just see my pointy finger there. Under the seal you'll see there's a very small hole, and that's because when the glass is put back into the porthole, as I'm about to do now, left-handed, which isn't good when you're a right-handed person, and you close the clamp on the window, it pushes the glass up against the seal. Now when you have a heavy thunderstorm, the water that runs on the outside obviously then has to get away because there's a frame between the glass and the outside of your boat. That hole is there to allow the water to drain. So it's a good thing every now and again just to pop your windows out and just make sure that the hole at the very bottom is actually not blocked up with debris or dead animals, as in insects and flies or moss, because you will see the problem materialize when there's a thunderstorm and the water can't get away. It will find its way around the seal. It'll force its way through because water's absolutely so-and-so for doing that, and it'll actually flood in onto your frame and then onto your floor. And it's a very similar situation with the pull-back windows, the bigger windows, and again the glass can be removed from them, but they have 4 drain holes per window frame, whereas a porthole just has the 1. So when I go outside, I'll show you that. Right, this is one of the starboard side windows, identical to the one that had the issue with blocking. These are the covers. It's a screw to the outside of the frame, and the idea is that they stop debris blowing into the holes. Now you have to be careful, and I'm hoping I'm not going to drop these. I'm going to put them out of the way. And I'm making it now that when I clean my boat, I check these holes, and you can see there's 2, and I can see right through to the glass. There's no issues with them. And that one, and we'll just check this one. And it's just a routine thing that we tend not to do. It's really worth putting into your cleaning regime. Again, the holes are clear on that one, so I need to take it all the way off. It's got a bit of dirt on the frame, but be careful when you put your screws back in that you don't drop them, otherwise you will be not very happy with yourself. Just take your time once they're nipped in, and just nip them up. Need a bit of paper towel just to wipe that off. I'll just move you across there a little bit so I can get this side done. Pull the boat back in. I've just pulled it to the starboard jetty just so I could wash this side, so it just made sense while it's over this way, just to show you. But you see, and that's all there is to get rid of any water that runs down the outside of the glass, and it's going to go down that frame because it can't suddenly just jump over. And just keeping them clean takes just a few seconds, that's all it's took. But at least then, when there's a thunderstorm, you're not like me going to end up with a massive amount of water suddenly pouring into your boat, wondering where the heck it's come from. So it's just been worth showing you, and hope that you'll take that on board literally and put it into part of your maintenance routine. Just check them. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do mine every couple of weeks just to be on the safe side, but you don't have to. I mean, if you do them once every 3 months, it's going to be sure that they're going to keep them clear. And often it's just bits of leaf that's gone in there and rotted, and that was the case with the galley window. It just decayed and it filled the 2 holes that was underneath, and all 4 to be fair, so the water had nowhere to go, and it will automatically, even though you've got seals, find its way in behind the corner of the glass and then down into the boat. So I hope you found that informative, and hopefully it'll save you having a flood. Thank you. And that's just to show you the same hole that I was trying to clearly show you from inside the boat that I was struggling with. But you'll see that on all boats, at the bottom of the porthole frame there'll be this drain which allows any surface water off the glass to escape and not build up and get back inside the boat. And I'm just going to set the tripod up and then show you the precautions I now start to take with the larger windows. I've got one a bit further down the boat to show you. Well, today I'd actually planned to take Misty out this afternoon, but I think you can hear in the background it's raining. So there's a little task I need to do back under this engine cover. So I'm going to take you with me, and just to show you, also I'm going to show you an issue I've got with the batteries. So just bear with me while I lift this out of the way. I'll have a look. Now I've put my head torch on because I'm not quite sure how much of this you're going to be able to see. But this is the battery bank, obviously, you can see in front of me. With its cover, it's required by the boat safety. And I'm hoping the camera will pick up this here. I mentioned it when I was doing the engine. Paint out, and this is just a build-up of crud on the first battery's negative pole. Now these 3 batteries, as far as I am aware, these leisure batteries, these obviously operate on my 12-volt systems in the boat. These were all the original batteries supplied by the boatyard when the boat was built back in 2009. So they are now best part of, what's that going to be, 12 years old. And as I am thinking of putting solar power on, I need to think about getting some decent batteries. They haven't died yet, but they are hooked up permanently to the landline here, so they're charging constantly on what I call intelligent charge, so it's just keeping the levels right. And as you can see, each battery is linked with red and black cables, and they link down to this one here, which is the starter battery. Now, the problem I've found is I've been researching the batteries, is I can buy this size, this bar comes off to remove, I can buy this size of battery. These are 110 amp sealed batteries, but the problem is everybody now sells batteries with the positive where this negative is and the negative where the positive is. So these are obsolete, I believe now. The only way I can get the polarity where the positive is on this front corner is if I was to buy lithiums. And I've just been quoted £13,500 for two 220 amp hour lithiums. Well, they're capable of 30,000 cycle processors apparently, and I think, you know, for me, I'll be dead before these batteries even get half worn out. So I'm not going down the lithium road at the moment. I think there's still a long way for lithiums to go before I want to be investing that kind of money, you know. So I'm going to be looking at either AGM batteries or gel batteries. You can research, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that tells you the pros and the cons of each. But both are readily available with the positive where my negatives are, which has left me a bit of a dilemma. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just show you how I'm going to clear this off first, and then we'll look at the problem I've got with the cables. So just bear with me a minute. Okay, it was suggested by somebody on one of the replies to this problem that to pour boiling hot water onto the terminal. Well, that's not an option for me at the moment because it's in situ. I'm not going to disconnect all the batteries, but what I am going to do, that's why I've got my rubber gloves on. This cloth is in a bucket of really hot water, and I'm just going to hopefully remove all this crud into the water and dissolve it out off the terminal, because I imagine it's acidic, so it's not a good thing to have. And just trying to get it out of the way, and the gloves is because, as I say, the water in the bucket is scalding hot and I don't want to burn my hands. So I do think if I just drape this cloth over the top of the terminal for now and stuff it right around it, it'll help loosen off this build up, and it work. In my toolbox, which is always the case, it's not here, there is a tube of proper terminal grease that will stop this being a problem, an ongoing problem. It is only a short-term measure this, because I can say that the new batteries will be done before the summer's out, so I'm not too worried about it, but I just thought it would be better just to try and remove as much as I can, because obviously it's not doing it any good whatsoever. As you can see, it's already starting to come off. I always think when people build automotive, whether it be boats, planes, cars, motorbikes, they obviously build them for the speed of manufacture and not ease of maintenance. Because if I'd have built this boat, me being me, I would have put a hatch directly above the battery bank. So all this work could be done quite easily on a regular inspection programme, because you could get to the batteries without having to take the engine bay cover up and get down here in this little cavity. That's just me. I know it's a thing with cars as well. They are obviously built for the speed of production and not for how easy they are to maintain. I think another good hot cloth on there will suffice for now. Oh, it is flipping hot, that's for sure. Just let that steam itself on there a minute, and hopefully it'll neutralise any of the acidity that's on there. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't really. It's just my way of thinking that, yeah, it's coming off now. That's looking a bit better. Try and get all these bits of granules of it best I can with my cloth. Again, as I say, it's only temporary, so I'm not too worried. I'm going to give it one more, I think, and then that'll do. Now, no doubt, seasoned boaters will be telling me that, you know, these should have all been greased. Well, that I do know. But when I first moved on, because I was going nowhere, checking these wasn't high on my priority. But the one thing I've learned is preventative maintenance is better than expensive replacement when it comes to anything mechanical, whether it's the pumps, the filters, anything at all to do with the maintenance of this boat is all going to become part of my regular maintenance, checking, replacing, cleaning. And I think that's what it's all about. That's when you come to sell the boat, if all these tasks have been done on a regular basis and everything looks proper, your investment is being looked after, and that'll show in the asking price and what you actually get for your boat. Right, that'll do for that. I will just turn you off a minute, and then I'm going to take you off the tripod and try and show you the other problem that I've got. Now, I do apologise if I keep getting my hands in front of the camera and for the shadows caused by wearing this headlamp. Now, when I come to change these batteries, as I say, the negative on all the modern batteries you can buy now tends to be on this corner, and the positive is on that corner. When I looked at it the other day, although I wasn't particularly concentrated on the batteries, other than the height and the length and the width, etc., I noticed this cable was running across the stern deck bulkhead, and I mistakenly thought it was under here running down to the far side of the engine, which is about 8-9 feet away. And I thought, well, I'm going to have a long cable made up. But I've just realised that it goes from this terminal there, it is there, I'm just touching it with my pointy finger, and then as it comes around, it actually goes to this terminal here on the domestic bank. So it is only maybe 14-15 inches, but I don't think, well, I know it isn't long enough. When I get the new batteries and the positive is here, this cable won't reach there, not without trying to force it and stretch it. But the good news is I only need to get maybe 20-inch piece made up. I'll measure it more accurately before I do it, so that this cable then will come from that solenoid, which is the on-off switch, not a solenoid. And I'm just double checking that I'm definitely right with that, and that's that one. So where does it go to? Can't see under here. Just bear with me a second. I'll turn you off so I can put you down. Right, we'll scrap that idea, because I've took my headlamp and looked behind, and this cable does actually run underneath these switches and then goes across the bulkhead, down, and then to the side of the engine, which I'll show you in a minute. So a little bit more awkward, but it's only a case of undoing the screws, taking off these straps, getting that cable out and having it made, adding an extra, it wants an extra 4 inches on there, just so it touches the positive, which will be on that side then, and not on this side. So it's no major issue. And then my thinking is that this link cable here, when the positive's this side, that link there will go to this, and then it should be long enough obviously to hit to the positive there, and then the same with that one. And also with the negatives, they should still be able to be used, because this feed cable here, negative cable, when they change over the polarity of the battery, that will have no issue going between the starter battery and there. We'll just turn it, so that doesn't need to be changed. And then these will link across, because the negative will be there, so this bit will come to here, and the negative will be there, so that end will come to here. So the distance between the actual points are going to be exactly the same, it's just a different configuration. So yeah, one long cable, which I thought I was just going to thought it felt good with and going to get away with a shorter version. I'm going to need to measure it accurately, and then when I'm ready to replace the batteries, and these have got to come out, I'll already have the cable ready to go in its place. So last job now is when I get to work tomorrow is to find the, I'm just double checking, yeah, it's definitely not that one, and it's definitely not that one, which means it's that cable that goes to the other end of the engine, which is off the charging side. Oh well, not to worry, these things are sent to try us. I'll get the cable made, and then when the new batteries come, it'll be easy to fit. Right, I'm now down the port side of the engine. The cable that I've got to change is this one, that then runs down behind here. As it comes down, it's shielded by this piece of hose, but it does go along against another piece of hose and it's connected to whatever that is there. I'm not even going to claim to know what it is, but I'm sure it's part, and it is part of the charging system. So yeah, a bit longer cable than I was originally anticipating, but hey ho, it doesn't really matter. So I'm sorry if it's flashing, it's the headlamp that's causing it to look like it's flashing. And another little project in the making, I suppose, to get this cable made. Thank you for watching. I just thought I'd quickly show you this. It's this was the original horn that was fitted to the front of Freedom, just to the left of me in the bow locker area, I mean. And when I first moved on board, it was working okay. It wasn't brilliant, but it was working okay. But I do think doing the regular Thursday night horn sounding, and was all saying thank you to the NHS, has taken its toll, because it slowly but surely got weaker and weaker. I took it to bits to see if there was any reason why it wasn't working, and I think it's just died a natural death. So it's going to be put in the recycle for scrap. There's a bit of metal in there and a magnet, I believe, so it may serve a purpose to somebody. And my very good neighbour Callum knocked on the roof of my boat the other day and asked me if I would like a klaxon. So let me just show you that. And here we have. Now, I've managed to fit it. I didn't video the fitting, but I fitted it to the original bracket where the first horn was, and the operation obviously is done from the controls on the back of the boat. Now the only thing I need to do is I'm going to grease these two terminals, because even though they're under the cover of the crutch, I don't want them to get manky and damp. So I'm going to nip to the back of the boat now and just give you a quick blast. So you may want to cover your ears in a minute. And love it, absolutely love it. The only reason is part of it is got exactly the same horn by the looks of it on the front of his boat, but Callum has his on the roof pointing forward, and this has actually got somewhere in that plastic casing there where my fingers are at the back, it's got a crack. Now in his circumstance obviously the water would get in. Now for me it's not an issue, because A, it's under the cover of the top of the boat, and it's also under the cracked cover, so it's well out of the weather, and I don't think it's ever going to be a problem. Let me just go and give you a blast on the horn and give you an example of how loud it is. I'll be 1 second. Right, I'm back. I think you'll agree that when I'm out on the water and I'm approaching a bridge that might be on a slight bend or out of a line of sight, or I'm going around any of the bends, like when you come out of the marina, you are asked to sound your horn just to let other people know and boats that you're approaching. And I think that's going to do a cracking job. So thank you, Callum, off of Narrowboat Cassandra. Absolutely chuffed with that, mate. Absolutely chuffed. Nice one. Cider of the Week. Hello and welcome to our very first, what I hope is going to not be the only one, Cider of the Week. And this is where we're going to review random samples of different ciders. No particular plan, I'm just going to walk into a shop, take a bottle off the shelf, never tried it before, and I'm going to review it. And it's come about because if you follow me on YouTube, Misty Me on YouTube, you'll have seen pictures like this. And my idea of relaxation is to sit on the back of Freedom on a night like tonight when the sun's shining, with some 1970s music in the background, which I'm not going to put on now because YouTube will scrap the video because of copyright. And I enjoy a can of cider. Now I normally would drink my ciders out of a out of a can or a bottle, but for the purpose of the reviews I am going to pour it into a glass. Now it's the only glass I've got because other than that I've got champagne flutes and I don't think they'll be very suitable. And Bulmers, it's a Bulmers cider that we're going to look at this week, which is what they call recipe 17, so they all come with a different recipe code on. And this is going to be crushed red berries and lime, and it contains raspberry, strawberry, red currant and obviously lime. And according to Bulmers, they say that this is an ideal Christmas cider, weddings and for Father's Day. Now I've never tasted it yet, so I don't know, but it just seems a bit strange that they highlight them three as being the occasions when you would want to drink it. Me, I could drink cider any night as long as the sun's shining, and to me it doesn't matter whether it's Christmas or not. Now this is a 500ml bottle. I grabbed it off the shelf in Sainsbury's when I was there the other day. I wasn't shopping to see which was the cheapest, and obviously there's lots of shops sell it at different prices. So my comparisons are going to be random buys from random shops, not specifically aiming for the price. I'm just telling you how much I've paid for it. It's 500ml, and apparently this recipe was originally launched on the 1st of December 2012, and it's 4% proof. So I'm going to crack it open and we'll see how good it tastes. Now another thing that I need to get a bottle opener because doing it with a pair of scissors isn't ideal. Now Bulmers say that this is, like a lot of ciders, best served over ice. Now I have a problem with that because I'm not a fast drinker, so I would normally just drink it out of the bottle, I'll be honest with you, or if it was in a can, obviously just pull the ring and drink it. So what I've done, I've put this in the freezer box for a while because I don't like it when you pour it on ice, and if you're not a fast drinker, by the time you get to the bottom third of your glass it's more water than cider and it's just a diluted nothing. So I prefer it icy cold out the ice box. But I just thought, and as you'd expect, it's pretty damn red. How's that? Hey, that looked nice. I like ciders, I really do. And I have stolen this idea, and I admit it, hands up, from Robbie Cummings, whose vlogs you need to watch because they're fantastic. And Robbie always does Pub of the Week, and he's going to be able to get back into that now because he can go into the pubs. Now Robbie's a beer drinker, a lager drinker, I think he drinks anything that's in a bottle or out of a pump. Me, I'm sorry, I don't drink beers, so I'm never going to be reviewing beers. It's just ciders. So people, when they saw the pictures on the YouTube channel, on the Facebook channel, got in touch and asked me which is my favourite. So this is the reason I'm going to start doing this, and I haven't got a particular favourite at the moment. So every week, at the end of every vlog, we're going to do a quick review on the cider, and we've got the cider of the week log, in which I'm going to record scores out of 10, and then at the end of, well, when I've run out of ciders to try, we'll review back and see which in the top 10 ciders and try and whittle it down to the favourite. So that's the reason I'm doing it. So this is to say cheers to Robbie for not getting upset for me stealing his idea. Let's give it a taste. Oh, I don't think I'll leave it till Christmas. This is nice. It is fruity as you'd expect, and I do think if you had ice in it, it would definitely water it down too much. It's absolutely, on a night like tonight, flipping gorgeous. I think that's the first time I've ever had it. It's definitely not going to be the last. It's full of flavour. It definitely hits the spot. And for me, I reckon that's got to be a 9 out of 10. It's a cracker. Join me next week. Let's see what else we're going to try. In the meantime, why not send me your review of your favourite cider? Or better still, send me a can or a bottle of yours and I'll review it for you. Look forward to seeing you next week for Cider of the Week. Cheers.